Recording in three, two, one. This is where we have our fancy intro if we had the money to pay producers, sound engineers, what else? Graphic designers, animators. Yeah, that would be our nice animated intro. Okay, guys, welcome back to episode of Drop. With me here is Bing. This is the podcast you come to listen to us. Basically, just talk about anything lah, anything about life stuff lah, culture stuff lah, Malaysia stuff lah. Talk shit about other countries lah. Okay, so today's topic is going to be a little bit heavy. How heavy is it gonna be, Bing?
I think it's going to be pretty heavy because it is that is very close to both our hearts and something that both of us for and feel like it is not talked about enough, especially in Malaysia.
Correct. Not talked about enough. Why? Because mainly people think it's a bit taboo. People think, yeah, it doesn't exist. Especially a lot of our elder generation, especially think, no such thing. It's just yourself, it's just your problem. You fix it and okay. Lah. Okay, so
Always our problem.
yes, always our problem, and it's just a state of mind. Okay, but that doesn't make it irrelevant, because I think in today's society it's even more relevant, more so than 5 years ago, even, or even like 10 years ago, a decade ago. It's just super relevant right now, and people are starting to talk more about it, and we are going to give our 2 cents on the issue. Okay, so to start us off, I have done a little bit of research, which is really, really rare for this show. We don't really do a lot of research. We don't do a lot of follow-up questions as well. You ask us, hey, you got anything to prove this? I'm like, no, not really. Okay, so we're going to talk about Catherine Lee. She was mentioned in our last episode as well for a controversial reason, right? It all started from there. She was on a talk show with a host, a DJ, and stuff like that. And they were just talking, and then Catherine Lee is a famous Malaysian influencer slash model, used to be actress too, I think, and she plays piano. Yeah, she has a lot of hats.
You see the differences between someone like you who grew up speaking Chinese and someone like me who later on only understand Mandarin is that when you say Catherine Lee, I literally thought Katherine.
Yeah, that's her name, no? But it's like C instead of a K.
Yeah, her one is Cathryn.
Yeah. A little bit of a hipster spelling for a name that should be starting with a Katherine. But anyways, so it started there. She had a live performance, sort of an impromptu performance, and she plays the piano as well. She's apparently quite good at the piano. She's very proud of her piano skills. And suddenly, this show put her on the spot and say, okay, you know piano, play piano. Now, go. We have a band, so play. And then it's a completely different genre. I actually watched part of the interview. I didn't watch all of it because it's in Cantonese. I'm not very fluent in Cantonese. And suddenly she plays classic piano, right? She plays classical pieces. She's more of a classically trained pianist, if that's the proper term for it. And suddenly the show was playing, I think, jazz or something like blues along those lines. So she was quite caught off guard, and she couldn't really jive or catch a rhythm with the other musicians on stage. So it was live, and people started commenting, people started hating on her, like, yeah, you don't really know your stuff anyway, you just pretend lah, you're kind of sucky at piano lah, are you as good as you say you are? So all the hate started flooding in, and all her fans started flooding in too. So it became all this big drama for the whole entire week. And after that, she was during the interview, she was quite upset, visibly upset, and she sounded off and then just stormed out of the interview. So that was all the drama that started on that day. 2 days later, she posted a video of her playing classic piano, a piece that she's familiar with, and yeah, she practiced. She took a video. It was impressive, right? So to prove her point, to shut up all them haters, that she actually can play piano quite well. And after that, in drama, when the real poop hit the fan, so she posted a follow-up to that, which is a photo of her with what do you call that? Suicide marks. Basically, she had hanging red marks here, and then she posted words of encouragement that came with that photo. So roughly translated, she said something like, yeah, just be yourself, stay strong. Basically, she gotten over it, and she's like, okay, everyone stay strong. Don't hurt yourself over what other people say. Right? So that is so weird.
It's like, yeah, take care, guys. No, man. I didn't know it was words of encouragement. That's the thing.
Reading in Chinese, I could barely pick up the 100% meaning of it because my Chinese is not that good. Okay. But yeah, it was basically words of encouragement, like I've gotten over it. Okay, guys, symbol of strength. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, that was basically the whole Catherine Lee debacle up until this point, and then in between there's a lot of other small things that happen. Some other actresses, actors, producers came in and also said that, oh yeah, Catherine Lee is good. Some people say, oh, Catherine Lee is bad. Oh, yeah. So the whole world became about her for that whole week. Okay. And to the point where a makeup artist came in and recreated actual hanging makeup. Because of course he's a makeup artist, he knows visually how it's supposed to look. So he made he put the makeup on himself and proceeded to post a photo basically calling out Catherine Lee, saying that, yeah, I get what you're trying to say, but your hanging is kind of fake, it's staged, because she posted and then the thing was here, right? The makeup artist was like, if you hang, the thing will be here. Which, yeah, physically it makes sense. But yeah, what do you think of this entire drama that has took Malaysia world by storm?
Just to let everyone know, this is related to the topic that we're talking about today. That's why we are opening with this set of news. I would take something like this lightly. I know there are a lot of people out there who, like, even when we started, we're like, what? Why? But when sometimes I feel like I don't know lah. Sometimes I feel like she's asking for it. Like, why would you post something like that up? Even like for us, we are quite active online. But even when I have my down days, I wouldn't share. I wouldn't share like, hey, I'm feeling very down today. Or I would just try to spin it in a very positive light, whereby be like, yeah, it's one of those days, but we just going and
power through.
Yeah, and sometimes I really feel it's lack of attention, but then again, a lot of people express themselves very differently.
Correct. Yeah, some people just bottle it up, but some people find, at least they sort of seek refuge in the online community. And of course, she has her own cult following around her. I think she's well over 2 million followers on Instagram and everything.
So maybe for her, it's like, I'm just sharing this with you guys because you guys are supposed to be. I can relate with that. But maybe it's the way that it was conveyed across.
Yes. I agree. I think intent is very important. And Kathleen Lee herself knows the best, whether or not she posted that to basically make the entire Malaysian news about her for that kind of selfish reason, or was it a legitimate thing where she wanted to show the world where, okay, you guys need to stay strong. There are a lot of haters in this world. There's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of adversity. Doesn't mean you hurt yourself over it. You are worth more, right? You can really go in a wide variety of messages, and one photo and one caption cannot be by intention. Only she knows that so far, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're really going to speak about this, I actually encountered something very similar. I had an ex-boyfriend who killed himself and jumped out because we were in a rocky situation, and I think on the verge of breaking up. Like right now, I can't really recall. I think that's what happened. And he threatened to kill himself. He threatened, and his life. And I freaked out because you never know. You really never know when someone will do it, and you don't want to be the cause of them ending their life. Where they outright say, "Hey, I commit suicide right now because you don't love me." Of course, for me, I will definitely take the safer route where it's okay, I love you, let's talk about it. I know a lot of people will also be like, then just let them, if they want to commit suicide, then leave it lah. It's not, you already said.
Yeah, that's the other side.
Correct, but for me, is life is so sacred. I will never take that chance, and no lah, he lying on lah. So it is a very thin walk on, very sensitive topic. I will never take it lightly lah. So unless I know it's my immediate.
Yeah. Okay. So to clarify today, the topic, of course, we're talking about mental illness, mental health. We're going to dive into a little bit of depression. We're going to dive in a little bit into burnout as well. And when we talk about the umbrella term mental illness, it covers a lot of different diseases, mental diseases or illnesses that cover under this umbrella. And we're not talking about the depression as a emotion. We're talking about it as a legit mental illness, right? It's not just I feel sad, I have depression. Yeah, we're not. Let's just get that out of the way.
I think a lot of people misunderstand that depression is really like, oh, it's just how you feel. But some people are genetically depressed. It's something that is hormonal imbalance that causes depression to some people.
Yes. So don't quote us on this, but it has something to do with your brain chemistry. And some people are just born that way with that imbalance in brain chemistry. And I think it is same thing when we talk about education, same thing when we talk about talents. Can they be natural, or can they be nurtured? Yes. So it's nature versus nurture. This kind of thing applies to mental illness as well. If for the first 20 years of your life you are mental illness free, fantastic, great. But that doesn't mean the next 60 years you will be mental illness free. Your environment has a impact on that as well. Your environment, your lifestyle, your outlook on things, and it's so hard to measure. And only recently in modern day medicine, in modern day psychology, can we slowly start to decipher what this whole Pandora's box of mental illnesses is, right? So previously, I don't blame people for not understanding mental illnesses. I blame them when they outright reject. So a lot of boomer generation, I'm sure you've heard of this before, like, no lah, it's just you being sad only lah, just go drink and then you're okay. I'm sure we've heard that a lot, right?
And we are stressing so much on Asian culture because this is first-hand experience, and we really don't know how Europeans take it, how they used to take it. But I know very important, and a lot of them are actually speaking out regarding mental illness, and I'm very happy about that. And right, there's a whole trend of really understanding your feelings and accepting them and seeing how you can be better instead of ignoring them. It's very good. It's not like, okay, we're going to sweep it under the rug. I think the previous generation, a lot of them have a lot of pent up feelings and they're like, sweep it under the rug, act cool. Yeah, we got this. That was how we deal with things. But for us, we are more, let's wear our feelings on our sleeves type and let's face it head on. And I think it's good that more people are talking about it, coming out, speaking out about it. But at the same time, I also feel that our generation has been, because of this, we are so sensitive to so many damn things. So annoying.
Yes. There's a fine line, and we are on that stage where I think everything is a cycle. I think that's how I kind of see trends. That's how I kind of see culture. Everything's a cycle. And the past, I would say 20 years, maybe 20 years, it's all been like suppress, internalize. And with the age of social media and the Zoomer generation coming in, our generation and even a lot of Boomer generation getting a hang of social media, the exposure that it gives, the freedom that it gives, it's starting to pick up. And we're swinging all the way up to a point where it's another extremity where cancel culture is coming in. People are like, no, you shouldn't be this, you shouldn't be that. So all these things are a cycle. And then I think in a few years' time, we'll kind of learn as a collective human society that, okay, maybe we took things too far.
Yeah.
Like, right now.
Don't go to both extremes again, I would say generation law. So I've learned this with my relationship with Lenny because he is uber chill, like no sense of urgency type of person. He's the most chilled person. I want to freaking chuckle him. Like he has a meeting, he can at 10 o'clock, wake up at 10:30 and be like, oh, schedule lah. I'm like, what the fuck? You miss your meeting? You woke up late. How can you? And I'll be there freaking out on behalf of him. So we tend to complement with both our strengths / weaknesses, whereby I am super how do I say, I'm very sensitive to these things, especially when it comes into play. And he is one where he is super relaxed, super chill. So he doesn't take many things personally, and things that are supposed to offend him in normal people terms don't offend him, which is very, very blissful life to live, I would say. Because you that much. Whereas I am the total opposite. Sometimes I would dare say I am overly sensitive, whereby I let a lot of things affect myself. So we have come and I will tell him like, I think you're supposed to be affected by this. And sometimes he'll tell me, I think you just need to let more things go. So it has become a very good balance for both of us to understand each other and to learn about how we are as people as well.
So it's good to get another perspective to give you feedback on this. Because a lot of times this kind of not just anxiety, not just fretting over the little details, overthinking. This can be just minor symptoms or signals that you are in a state of heightened stress, and over time it builds on you to the point where you don't realize that it is affecting you in that way.
Agree.
Yeah, you don't realize it. You really just don't realize it. You just live life as usual. You do your routine as usual. Nothing changed. What you brush your teeth, go to work, you eat food, everything as usual. But it's affecting you in your own world. Other people might be able to see it. They might not. But it is always good to have another perspective, a close friend, a family member, a partner, or just even like a dog or like a pet or fish to talk things out. Then of course animals cannot give you the feedback that some people find very helpful. Humans can. So yeah, when I had that depression state or like burnout, I wouldn't call it full-fledged depression. I consoled, what do you call it? Consolidated, no, consulted, no, just talk to people, okay? I just talked to my family, my mother and my friends. So they told me, yeah, you do seem a bit off for like 1 month plus now. Has anything happened to you? Yeah. So you start talking things out and you don't even realize it, but the amount of things that you like word vomit out is like, oh yeah, that's all been affecting me. I just didn't want to share. So yeah, talking to another family friend or just your friend in general, people that you trust that know you very well. So to get a baseline of who you are and then what stage have you progressed or even changed to. So that's where the diagnostics come in. And it's not just immediately seeking professional help. I don't think many people have that initiative like, oh yeah, I'm depressed for very long already. Okay, let me go doctor.
Because I feel that I have experienced it before as well. So number one, I think it's very important who you choose to talk to. You must open to the right people, and if you are someone who is receiving this news, please don't take it lightly because it's honestly very for the person to be so vulnerable to you and say like, hey, I'm actually having this. It is not easy.
Right.
So many things that
Right.
come before we actually admit that, yeah, this is happening with me. It's a whole emotional roller coaster. And the second thing, sometimes I
Yeah.
feel is seeking professional help is very important because a professional will know how to tell you what you need to hear, not in a very manipulative way. But sometimes when you talk to people also they don't know how to help you. They want to help you, but they don't know
Yes.
what way to direct your thinking towards. And I think when you seek professional help, they have everything, all the assets they have learned along the way, how to deal with a person like you. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so difficult and it's not a big thing here. I think in America, everyone goes and sees a psychiatrist, right?
Psychiatrist, like willy-nilly, okay, I need a psychiatrist.
Like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
and they're open about it.
I need to go see psychiatrist.
Have you had anyone tell you that I need help in this regard? I
Well,
need help mentally.
I think because depression is not widely used and
Hmm.
we are not used to the term here, so we tend
Hmm.
not associate our feelings with depression. We would say that yeah, we feel sad. We've been feeling sad for a very long time,
You've
but
been feeling down.
we know how to differentiate sadness and depression.
Mm.
It's not widely taught to Malaysians or in the Asian culture as well. Like I actually come to understand depression and I actually found out that I was in a state of depression because I couldn't eat. There was a point of time where I was very I couldn't eat. I would look at a slice of bread. I eat like one bite and I felt like vomiting and the rest of the day I couldn't eat. And I actually went to see a doctor about it. The doctor was asking me questions. He closed his book and then he looked at me and said, how are you feeling? Is everything okay at work? Is everything okay in your personal life? And then he told me that, yeah, you are actually facing a state of depression. And I never knew until
Yeah.
he told me. And it was because I met the right doctor because, he was actually the second doctor. Automatically say, oh, food poisoning because you cannot eat. And yeah, food poisoning lah. But this doctor actually took the time to understand my symptoms, to understand what was happening with me, and we should just take some time off and find like really just go zen out. And then from there I was like, oh, okay, so this is how depression feels like. And I'm very thankful for that doctor because if not for him, I wouldn't have understood what depression was or how it felt like and how to get myself unstuck from this.
Yeah, of course, it's very important to get the right help from the right people. Sometimes it just comes down to luck.
Correct.
Some friends even then don't know how to handle this with you because most of us are not trained professionals to handle something as complex and as subtle and nuanced as a mental illness. How I found out something was wrong with me was because I'm quite a self-aware. Sorry?
All damaged, by the way, both of us.
Yeah. Then how I found out was that I kept not being able to sleep, insomnia, and then, right? Yeah, I think that's quite a common thing. Low energy throughout the day, like, oh, I just don't feel like doing anything throughout the day.
Super demotivated.
Super demotivated, yes. And as well as not being able to wake up. Yeah. So I just wake up and just lie there, like, I don't want to move today. I don't want to do anything. Just want to lie here. So that was the stuff that I felt. So like, I wasn't like this for the longest time. I never had this kind of thing. Then why suddenly like this? So I started talking to people and they're like, hey, you might have this. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I think it's best if you go seek medical help to confirm whether or not you have it, or confirm whether or not people are able to offer you help, or is it just a bad phase in life? Yeah. So from then I approached a psychiatrist. My friends recommended. So go there, then diagnose, and oh yeah, you have mild symptoms, but nothing too bad. You just need to take some pills to stabilize your hormones and stabilize your emotions, your state of mind, stabilize it. And at the meantime, you have to. I recommend my psychiatrist actually recommended me to read some books.
Okay.
Yeah. It's called Grit, Grit.
Okay.
Yeah. So she recommended me to read this book, and she said, "Oh, this will help you in improving your mindset to better adapt to culture, better adapt to environment, and better adapt to the challenges you're facing." And then from there, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So that was when I realized that it was a two-step solution. First is a short-term solution where you take medicine, prescribed medicine, and to alleviate the current bad symptoms that you're facing. And secondly is a change in your personal mindset. Yeah. So that's why I think mine is not really depression, like the clinical depression. Mine is more like burnout and coupled with a sprinkle of depression. Yeah. So that was how I got over it. Read books, eat medicine, exercise more, balance out my life a little better. Then okay, after a while.
It was from this episode that I realized how powerful the mind actually is. Because of my mind that I physically couldn't do so many things.
Right.
I was fucking mind blown. I was like, wow, control everything, and it can really control the way you feel. I like when you said you couldn't sleep, that struck me so hard because I remember falling asleep for 5 minutes and thinking like, wow, I slept for like 6 hours already. And I wake up and it's like, it's just 5 minutes. And I would feel super and I would just think non-stop and you just cannot.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
It's okay, turn off first. So yeah, I think common symptoms is that overthinking, anxiety, low energy, stuff like that.
Demotivated.
Not being able to eat, no appetite.
Yeah.
Even sensitivity.
Sorry?
That happened, loss in sensitivity in your tongue.
I couldn't eat, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think that has something to do with it, because I calibrate coffee for my shop, for my cafe. I have to, so I have to taste every day. And then during that phase, it's like, everything is bitter.
Yeah, so from there I realized, wow,
Yeah.
the mind affects your body so much, and the term mind really got to me. And I told myself, I need to get, I want to get out of this. I hate being in this state. And from there, I told myself, whatever it takes for me to get better. And I cut toxic people out of my life. All the toxic people that I knew that were making me feel this way, I said, fuck it, bye. And I just totally cut. And that's how I moved on, do things that I love, and just love myself. That's when I started.
Yeah, self-love, take care of yourself and stuff like that. I think it's much more important now because of one, social media. I think that's the biggest factor in contributing to whether or not people are happy or depressed these days. It's increased our exposure to so many different opinions so much, and it's heightened everything, amplified every little thing that you say, every little thing that you do. Sometimes where if you're too caught up in that game, you kind of feel like, yeah, it gets a bit girly lah. It gets a bit gross. It gets a bit, too much.
Yeah.
It's too much stimulation, too much information. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah, like I love on Sundays, I love putting my phone aside. What I realized, because I guess we're always moving so fast, and a lot of external forces tells us you must get better, you must be productive with your time, you must do this, you must do that. All the damn time where you don't have time to sit down and be like, oh, I'm doing. Sometimes we need that to just sit down and do nothing, and not, like you said, not get stimulated by anything at all. That's when you are alone with your thoughts. And I think a lot of us are missing that in this day.
Have you realized during COVID-19 that a lot of people are more aware of mental illnesses, and you hear a lot more stories, you hear a lot more, even some statistics are saying that people are promoting seeking help for mental illnesses, and people actually do. During the whole pandemic, MCO, CMCO, RMCO, back to CMCO, back to MC. Yeah. During this whole thing, I think, psychiatrists in general have had more clients, a lot more new clients as well.
Yes. Psychiatrists have increased revenue.
Business is good. Well, yeah, I think it's a fantastic sign, and because the main reason why I think it happened like that, or it happened like that, is because people have more time to be alone with themselves. People have more time to be alone with their thoughts, and they've done like basically in introspection. Is that what you call it? Looking into themselves, introspection, calm down, and they've allowed themselves to realize, okay, so this is the problem I'm facing right now. I think I need medical help.
I actually have a contradicting opinion to what you just said. It is because we are on our devices so much. We read everything we have. Because we have so much time doing MCO, we really have nowhere to go. We are online more. Our screen time has increased. We read everyone's opinion. We get invested into be invested in. We take offense very easily. And it's just because you're so bored, you go on Facebook. Okay, you don't want Facebook. You go on Instagram. Okay, no Instagram. You go on TikTok. And I think it was during MCO that TikTok took off in Malaysia. Not even Malaysia, the whole world, because everyone was so bored. So everyone started dancing. I feel my life, like before I started my YouTube channel, I felt I was happier. I was more, fuck it, like, I don't fucking care about whatever people think. Then I started my YouTube channel, and I was like, oh, why this comment like that one? Why that comment like that one? And then I started thinking too much. It just sucks lah sometimes, You start thinking like,
I agree.
and sometimes you don't even know who is the one commenting. Some 10-year-old kid just
We all get that.
the thing. Because I'm like, wow, this guy really affected me. And then I click into his profile. Wow, is this 10-year-old kid, sunglasses, chubby chubby, standing next to Mercedes? I'm letting this person affect me. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Happiness is always to me a function of expectation, and this is something tied back to my depressive episode as well, because back then quite young, came back, graduated. Yeah, thought the world was perfect. Grass is green, sun is shining. Then nothing in the world can hurt me. Nothing in the world can go wrong.
Can do
In
this,
that,
hero.
yeah, I can do this one lah. Yeah, stop, sorry lah. All these small
I know
matter
all
to me.
why you all keep saying cannot one, can one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you come back into the real world, and after 1 or 2 years, shit, this is the real world. Fuck, take me back, man. Take me back. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people say, universities are your best days, because you don't need to suffer the real world consequences and the real world culture, I would say. Yeah.
So I always try my very best in order to take what I felt coming out. Whenever I see fresh grad, I always I understood how it felt coming out and being like, wow, I can do everything.
Yes,
Love
yes.
marvels that and make sure that they continue having that fire in them. I hated to do so many things and people tell me cannot one. No, fuck it. If you
Yeah.
and people tell you cannot one, fuck it. Just go and do it yourself. Because that really is so is very hurtful to one's personal growth, I feel. When I came out and I was like, oh,
Yes.
do that
Yes.
company, let's do that with the brand, let's do all this. And then you just it feels like you are literally on fire and someone just came with the fire and be like, no, stop. Cannot one.
Douse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you have experienced what you have experienced, but you cannot. Maybe you're also trying to protect this person's expectations, this fresh grad's expectations. But you need to allow fresh grad to fully experience it him or herself. To be like, okay,
Correct.
try. And if it
Correct.
great, if it doesn't, then okay, you slowly mentor the fella. You slowly be like, yeah, sometimes it's like that. But I wish if people actually took on this role more seriously, it would be so much better.
Do you know if I listen to what all these people have said, a lot of my dad's friends told us, From the Top wouldn't be a reality right now. It would just be a typical shop selling typical cars, no coffee, no cafe, no nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah. And the best thing that really gave me a lot of insight to how my dad sees this kind of thing, how to handle expectations. Of course, being a young person that just came out, he handled it very well. The way he positioned it, he said, "You can try if you want. I don't think it will work, but you make the decision whether or not you want to try. After you hear all these different opinions, you make the decision for yourself." Oh, after that, I'm like, that's good stuff. So you slowly observe and you make the conclusion for yourself. Of course, they kind of predict, yeah, cannot. They have their own baseline, but then they don't immediately shut you down and say cannot.
Correct. Because you never know, it might take off. What happen? You also meet like
Correct. Yeah.
people now driving drop tops. Why? You really never know what will happen. Maybe at that point of time, yeah, your father's friends, all they know, their generation never really drop the tops. But hey, it's a different time now. You really never know what will happen. 10 years ago, 15 years, no need to go so far. 2 years ago, Can you ever imagine saying that everyone had to sit at home, you come out, you die? No, no one could have
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Fuck it. People tell you cannot, fuck it, go, try for yourself. And on that, you will learn how to survive one. Don't let anyone cannot do something. It's bullshit. It's so
Yeah. Brings fired up.
Don't let anyone tell you cannot do anything. If you can turn money, you do that thing, okay?
Oh man, totally. We need more of this kind of positivity. And the way I look at it is you need to use it scientifically. You have, of course you have your own expectations, but a thing that really helped me a lot is you look at it scientifically. This is my input, the output that I expect, or my inference is this. If my input doesn't equal my expected output, something went wrong. That something could be your next lesson. That something could be something that gives you experience to next time when you look at things, you predict input, output. Then from there you basically say, okay, this is what I learned last time. I'm guessing it will change in this way.
Like you say,
and have to try for yourself, and then but happiness is a function of expectation. I think that's why my expectations for everyone in Malaysia right now is so low.
Yeah. So like speaking of that also, I'm also at that point where I was happiest when I never expected anything from anyone. So cause everything was a surprise. But then I noticed that I wouldn't rely on anyone because I didn't expect anything from anyone. So I would do everything myself.
Right.
I started trusting. Then when you trust people, you have a set of expectations. Then you get this. So how do you balance it all? Yeah. So
that's the most difficult thing. I think for me, I just don't expect anything from anyone anymore. Like just lower the expectations, not in a bad way. I still know that they're capable. I just don't want to place too high hopes on them so that I, in the end, set myself up for disappointment. Yeah, I think that's all what we gotten used to now, especially with my YouTube. Wow, shit, my YouTube now is like dying at the same time because I don't post much anymore. I don't expect much from it. Then if someone leaves a bad comment, I'm like, okay lah, I think could have gone worse.
Hey, but I think you have improved so much. I remember watching your first video, I was like, oh my god, this guy cannot. Serious? You know, go watch his older videos. He's like, this
Hey, no.
a pen. This pen, right? And he talks super slow one, like really this uncle, like processing power, like Windows.
Oh man.
Watch he talk faster.
Oh.
Very monotonous
Windows XP. Now it's like, okay lah, whatever lah. I just talk whatever I want to talk. I say whatever I want to say. I just upload.
I really think you have improved so much, but you wouldn't
Thank you.
have come to this state if you never tried. So no matter always a lesson.
Yes. And if I relied on validation from social media, I would have quit long time ago.
Yeah.
I still do it because I just want a memory there. I just want a documentation there. Oh, this is what I'm doing now. Maybe 10 years later, I look back and what the fuck is this kid doing? It could very well be like that, but I just want to, document the journey.
Yeah.
And it's made me happier in a way that I can see myself long term. I can see myself go long term. This is what I've done first year, second year, third year, fourth year, etc. So yeah, and that's one of my advices. If you're feeling down, you're feeling burnt out, look at it long term. You never want anything to limit you in that short term state of mind or short term goal setting or very short term mindset. You just want to elongate everything, put everything, disperse it out over years, over decades. And I think perspective lah.
My advice is totally different from yours. If you're in this rut, fuck goals, fuck all this nonsense objective. I gotta get my life. No, fuck it. Just do what you love. You love hiking, go hiking. You love doing this, do it.
Nice.
Just do it. Make sure you are okay before you start planning your future. Before you start like, okay, my long. Because when you start planning for your future, you know you are setting yourself up for disappointment. Things will definitely go wrong, and be in a very positive state of mind to be able to overcome it. So please make sure that you are in the right state of mind. You are very positive. You are the best version of yourself before you be like, okay, I want to lose 10 kg in 1 month. Definitely impossible. But when you fail, you'll be like, okay, it's okay. Yeah.
Give yourself that buffer of, it's okay to fail. It's okay to suck. It's okay to fuck up.
Correct.
Yeah. I think that's a very important message because, Asians are like, it's never okay to fuck up. out of 10 A's, you get 1 C, and then you're like, I fucked up. I'm dead. I'm not getting food for the rest of the month.
And it's like people. I think I shared something today on my Facebook or something like that where people over glorify working. I think people should over glorify taking a break. It's like, wow, so good. People always like, wow, I OT, I do this. It's like, wow, damn good way. You work so hard. Wow. No, it's not supposed to be that way. You are setting yourself up for burnout. You need to have a balanced life. And sometimes when not, you just, okay, I really think I need a break. If you can work 10 hours, like we said in our previous episode, if that works for you, please go ahead. But
but it's not for everyone.
Correct. If it's not for you, then find another way to do
it. Yeah, a lot of introspection needed especially in modern day. There's so much shit to filter out. It's just very important. And so I like to bring something up. We've been talking about mental illness in a personal kind of way, in a very personal, true to ourselves, our friends, our close family, our relatives, etc. But what happens when a mentally ill person comes into your professional environment? Have you ever encountered a situation where it's like that?
Professional environment.
Yeah. For example, you're working in the office or you're serving people.
Personal, yes. Professional, no. Serving, I would say no because it's too short of a time to know whether or not.
Did you know that cafes are one of the hotspots that you can frequently see mentally ill people?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not sure about KL, but here, at least when I was working in cafes, when I still worked the floor in my cafe, there were a lot of times where we would encounter people that we suspected was mentally ill. And some of them even came up to us, like their friends would come up to us and say, I'm sorry, my friend is a little bit, put it in a very nice way that they're a little bit mentally ill, they're not in the right state of mind. So if he or she has said anything rude to you, please forgive them. He doesn't mean it. Then that point in time also struck me as a very eye-opening moment. These people are not in your social circle or your family members. They can be people you walk by on the street. They could be the content creator on social media that you just commented on their video. They could just literally be any person because this is something you don't physically see. You don't see a mental illness car here or like here. You don't see it. Yeah, and that gave me a very nice perspective on the things that everyone must be treated with kindness and respect because you really don't know where they come from. And sometimes they treat you like this and you might think it's very rude. You might think it's ridiculous, this guy, why he say stuff like that? Why she treat me like that? But then you don't know what they're going through. And that customer was actually very, very rude to us. Actually started opening our car doors and slamming it. Yeah, fucking shop lah, and all that. So we're like, oh, okay, that's very surprising. Then we were like, okay, maybe just a very rude customer. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go scold this guy already. But then as I approached them, the friend took me aside and explained the situation to me. And they're like, okay, we will handle any damages that he's caused. So sorry, etc., etc. Like, okay. Wow, that really put a very different perspective into my head when I'm serving people, especially. And the way one I would say tip that I would suggest is that when you're handling people like this in a professional environment, these people do not see the world the same as you.
All right.
Because when you're in an episode, I'm sure you feel the same way too. Whenever people tell you something, they might not mean that kind of tonality, that might not mean that kind of connotation, but you, because of your state of mind, perceive it differently. You think they're trying to offend you, or you think they're trying to do this, do that to you. And then that's where anxiety comes in. That's where your overthinking comes in. So it's very different when mentally ill people perceive the world. And yeah, some empathy, some kindness, and respect will definitely go a long way for everyone to help everyone else.
I totally agree with that. And it's really not easy to do it. I personally think you have to be, hence, you have to be the best version of yourself in order to take a step back and be like, okay, this person needs more understanding.
Need some space, need some time, whatever in that situation calls for.
I mean, imagine if you were in that situation and I come up to you and be like, hey, don't do this, and I scold you immediately. Instead of asking, hey, actually, why are you banging the doors? Instead of trying to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, I immediately scold you. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
but
it's tough. It's tough.
definitely not easy to do. Very,
So do we have
very selfless thing to do.
Yeah. Do we have any, how to say, advice for people that want to help a friend that's in this, that might be having an episode or might be having issues with mental illness? What would be your advice if a friend approach you, say, hey, I got this help? How?
If the friend actually approaches me, that is already a huge step because this person is really admit to this mental illness. The one that is very difficult is them not admitting and not willing to share. I think that is the most difficult one, where you know something is wrong, but they're not willing to open their mouth to tell you, and you cannot be the first one to say it.
Yes.
But you cannot be like, I think you got a problem. Then you cannot. So if a friend were to come up to me and admit, I would say that's a very huge step already. And I would really be like, whatever you need, however you think that you can overcome this, because everyone overcomes in a very different way. Some people say, I need time to myself. Some people say, I need to talk to more people. There's no surefire way to overcome. It really varies from person to person. So I will definitely talk to the friend, ask him or her what they need from me, how I can help. And if they say I just need time on my own, I will just like, okay, well, I won't disturb you until you come and disturb me. So you love the person the way the person wants to be loved, instead you inflicting your perception of loving someone. I think a lot of people take that very a lot of people don't understand that. It's like for me, I like quality time. So I like spending time with people. That is like what love language. Yeah, that is one of my highest. So if you do acts of service, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's cool. But my way of loving and expressing love or receiving love is quality time. So if you want to love me, you spend quality time with me. Whereas, for example, you, what is your love language?
For me, I think quality time will be one of the first things, acts of service.
Okay. So for you,
Yeah.
so let's say we're living together and you come back to a very clean house, everything is done, laundry is done, everything, you'll be like, wow, I damn love you. Exactly. So if I knew that's your love language and that's how you appreciate being loved, that's how I would love you. I wouldn't like, hey, I'm quality love, I'm quality time.
Mm.
I impose my love language onto you. So you just have to understand who you're dealing with.
Mm. And like, oh, if gifts, give money, give gifts. Yeah, we wouldn't be that, of course.
Yeah, who you're dealing with, understand what
Yeah.
and speak their language to them.
Mm. Yeah. For me, I have a more set in stone kind of way to help a friend that is like this. First of all, I don't think I'm qualified enough to offer really impactful help. I can talk to them when they need it. Then that's about the extent of how I can help. Then as a friend, I feel like some people might not agree with this, some people might be okay with this. Yeah, I find it a few times it happened already. And how my approach was, I just waited until they came to talk to me, asked if they're okay, frequent checkups, etc. So that's the standard thing that I kind of do. And if I feel that it's getting a little bit out of hand, they are getting more and more suicidal thoughts, and they're sharing this with me, or I see them uh, cooping themselves up in their room for a few days, I know that's when things get a little bit serious, a little bit more serious. So at that stage, I tend to find an outlet to seek help for them. I have used a burner phone to text their family member and ask their family member to, you know, uh, don't immediately barge in, like, oh my God, I heard you got depression. You okay? Ah? You need help? Mommy cook chicken soup for you. No, no, not that kind. I purposely in the message say something along the lines of please take care of them. I think they're going through a very, very tough time. I if I were in your shoes, I would ask them to seek medical or professional help.
Yeah.
Right? That I think that is something that uh, can be a last resort if you find things that are going very, very bad, or simply just drag that person to psychiatrist, go with them, hold them, be with them together physically as they go into the room, and then slowly, let them be accustomed to that treatment.
I just want to
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
you are someone who is helping this person get over depression. You must understand that it's going to be a very long process and you need to be very
Yep.
patient.
Yep.
Whenever he
Hmm.
opens their mouths and actually tells you how they're feeling, it's really very difficult. And trust me,
Yep.
they don't like being in that state at all. They
Yep.
like, wow, I'm damn
Yep.
burdened to the world.
Yes.
Damn burdened.
Yes. That's a lot of their mindset. They think I'm burdening other people. I don't want to put my pain on other people. But as friends, you kind of just have to be very, very supportive, very, very patient with them.
And be ready
Yeah.
when they open up. Don't
Hmm.
them the feeling that you are troubling me. Never.
Hmm.
Always accept with open arms.
Hmm.
Really, sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like, wow, I'm bothering you. I'm burdening you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do this on my own. Ah, shit. Why did I even?
Hmm.
We we really feel damn bad once. Yeah. So just gotta.
Yeah. One more thing, don't small play. Don't small play whatever they feel.
Yes.
Don't small play. I hate that. And a lot of people do that. Like that only man, no nah, just go out, walk, and okay, the end.
You know what I feel what's even worse than that is I also got what, but I okay with it. I want to slap.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a common one too.
Not about you, okay?
Don't make it about yourself. That's also one important thing. So just listen, be a good listener. Yeah. Oh my God. That's all the time we have today for the main topic. I think we went well over time, sharing all sorts of different things in different contexts. That's a good session. Was it a good session for you?
Yeah, it's a good session for me.
Good, right? I really hope that this helps a lot of people, whether or not you are on the end that you are having an episode or you're on the other end where you're experiencing someone that has an episode where you're trying to help them.
Or if
Yeah.
not anyone, you can
Hmm.
us, DM us. I'm pretty sure we'll be more than happy to talk to you. We are sort of like befrienders, but we are more upfront lah.
Yeah, we kind of call bullshit when we see it though, so might not be the best thing. Seek professional help. Okay.
Okay.
What's up next?
Drop the talk. Oh, keep it up. Okay.
Drop the talk.
Okay, that's cool. So first one, 25-year-old woman finds out she was. Oh, sorry. Just to introduce a little bit about Drop the Talk or Keep It Up. It is basically me introducing a topic to Chu Yang, and Chu Yang will decide whether or not he wants to talk about it, which is drop talk, or keep it moving, next topic. And this has nothing to do with whatever we just talked about. Okay, so 25-year-old woman finds out she was born a man after going to the doctor for hurt ankle.
That's just random. Keep it moving. I don't know.
Interesting way. Like, how does a woman figure out she's a man? But okay.
What's a hurt ankle though? What does that have to do with that? It's probably like hurt ankle, look out, hey, oh no. It says here, miss, but is it miss?
Aduh.
Oh my god. Okay.
Is coincidentally related to our topic today. Malaysians need to stop cyberbullying and leaving toxic comments about Catherine Lee.
Drop the talk.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure everyone knows what's been happening with Catherine Lee. She has
She has a whole drama, a whole episode regarding online trolls, basically. Right. What to do? I think when people have anonymity, what's the proper word? Anonymity, yes. When you have anonymity, it's much easier for you to write toxic comments, bad stuff.
For your ex. That is where you don't care and you don't think.
Yes, that's where I think we should be a communist country like China. We regulate the internet like Russia, so that everyone says anything, we can trace back the person and their face and what they said, then their family, then we can, make the whole ransom hostage thing. Yes. Yes, that's my solution. You're welcome, everyone. Communism is the way to go. Regulate everything is the way to go.
I just feel like
accountability.
Yeah, accountability. People need to be responsible for whatever they put out online. But then again, I believe in karma, so what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
So
okay, keep moving.
Okay, Malaysia inspecting. What is this? Malaysia inspecting Selangor egg farm after salmonella bacteria prompts Singapore recall.
That was too many words. Can you repeat that again?
Inspecting Selangor egg farm after salmonella bacteria prompts Singapore recall.
Oh wow! Drop the talk. Do we export this to Singapore? Egg farmer.
Yeah. So
like chicken egg.
Chicken egg. Yes, chicken egg. You know the one you
okay.
It's scrambled egg.
Okay.
So this was 4 importers to recall eggs from the farm due to the presence of the bacteria which could cause foodborne illness if the eggs are consumed raw or undercooked. Yes. So
Damn, that's some serious stuff.
yeah, I was like, wow, salmonella.
Don't eat eggs.
Yes. So for everyone out there right now, just cook your eggs. Eggs are safe to be consumed if cooked thoroughly. So right now, just overcook the shit out of your eggs.
Yeah, hey, that's dangerous. So many people have, well, of course, eat eggs. Oh, what the shit? Salmonella.
Yeah.
Malaysia has a problem recently with all their food product. Have you seen this video where the fuchok has like all the flies covering all the fuchok?
But I love fuchok. I don't watch.
Yeah, it's there. I don't know what farm is it, but I think it's in KL also. So basically, all the all the fuchok from far is like, hey, we got black spots one.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
those are flies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, be careful where you go to. I think if you frequent proper restaurants and the chef knows what he's doing, i.e., can cook food and should be okay lah. If you go to mama too much, I think the risk of food poisoning is just there inherently. No matter if there's salmonella or not. But of course, salmonella is dangerous.
Your immune system.
It doesn't kill you, make you stronger.
Next.
Man.
Among top 10 airports in the world.
Where? KLIA? Yo, drop the top. What?
KLIA scored 4.98 points out of 5 for the category of over 40 million passengers per annum in 2020. That's basically it.
Have you been to KLIA?
How, right? Oh, and there's like cleanliness involved, everything, amazing, right? Apparently KLIA is like one of the best.
Oh.
I know.
Okay, cleanliness, this part I think is still okay if you're not talking about the toilets.
Of course we're talking about the toilets.
Okay, then I don't see how it passes. That's top 10
Top 10 in the world, okay?
Hey, you compare to what do you call it? Singapore. Singapore is like, wow.
Number 1 now. But damn, I don't
Singapore
know.
number 1.
That's the thing.
Yeah, how did we get top 10?
This is not the first time I'm hearing that KLIA is one of the best airports in the world. This is like quite a common thing ever since I was young. I always hear like, oh, KLIA actually damn good airport. But I'm sorry, I don't see it as Malaysia.
Yeah, I don't see it too. Yeah. Maybe we haven't traveled enough. After COVID, I think we'll get to re-rate KLIA.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to re-rate.
Last topic. Namwi or Namwi, I don't know how to pronounce, returns to Malaysia to clear his name and Barbie controversy.
Oh, keep it moving, man. I'm not about to be put into jail. I don't care. He can do what he wants. He can sing all the songs that he wants. I'm not involved. I ain't about to go to jail.
Okay, bye. Thank you. I never touched anything. No evidence.
No evidence. Bye. Okay, cut this video out. Editor.